Good morning, everybody. Good week. Parashat Ki Tavo. When we come to Eretz Israel, we have Mitzvat HaBikurim. The first fruit we have to give to the Kodesh Baruch Hu, bring it to the temple. What does it mean today? But before all of it, I want to tell you a story. There was this family, a rich family, a good family, and there was a young man there, and he was really doing all the fun of the world, going and like to clubs every night and spending his father's money with his credit card. And when he came back home in the night, it wasn't night, it was morning already, his father went to work. And it was going on for a while, and he's really running after all the joys of the physical life, the materialistic life. And his father was getting very old. The parents were getting very angry about the situation. They wanted him to do something with his life, to start working, and not living in the opposite world. Like in the day he was sleeping, and at night he was going having fun, having good time in clubs, and who knows what else he did. And every once in a while they had a big row. But once the row was so unbelievable that even the shouting people heard them on the other side of the town. And the young man says, "You know what, father, I'm leaving home. I don't want to live here anymore. I had enough." And he took a rucksack with a few things in, and he went out. Okay, where is he going to sleep? So he went to the park, and he slept on one of the benches. It wasn't convenient, but he didn't have any money. His father, the first thing he did, he cut his credit card to pieces, and that's it, finished. So he's sleeping on the park for a week. And then a guy, one of the friends of his father, comes along and says, "Well, what are you doing here in the park? What's happening? Well, why are you not at home?" And he started telling him, "My father this, my father that, I had enough, and I cannot." He says, "You know what? I've got a room that you can sleep. And but I haven't got any money to pay you. What do you want me to do?" He says, "No, it's no problem. You just clean a little, do something in the garden, and you can sleep and also give you eat food, and you will survive." Didn't have any other option, so we went there. Time passes. It was a few weeks, and he says, "Well, this is no tachlis. What I'm going to be? I'm a gardener. I'm a cleaner. I want to do something with my life." He had a very interesting talent. He was a baker. He knew how to bake cakes, unbelievable cakes. It was his hobby from when he was a little child. So he decided, you know what, there's a conditor at the end of the street. I'm going to the conditor, and I'm going to ask him, maybe he needs a worker, and I'm going to work there. At least I do something that I enjoy, that I love to do. So he went there and says, I'm this and that, and I've got the ability, I can do unbelievable cakes. So he said, you know what, a few days ago, one of my workers left, and I need a worker. Let's see what you can do. And really went and he baked things unbelievable. He says, you know what? You hired. Okay, you can start working. And he gave him very nice salary. And he was working there a few months, for a whole year, and then he said, I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to have my own business. So he decided, with the little money he had, to open a small shop, small conditori, how do you say? And he unfortunately couldn't open it in the main street, so he opened it in one of the back streets, and a small place, and he was baking beautiful things, but very few customers. And time was passing, and he was losing and losing and losing. And then one day a guy comes in, says, "Can I have a coffee and a piece of cake or croissant, whatever?" He says, "Wow, it's very good, very tasty." And I tried this and tried another one. He says, "You know what, I've got an idea for you. I see you bake unbelievable. Let's open a shop in the main street." So I haven't got the money. So I said, no, I'm going to invest the money. I'm going to be a silent partner. I'm going to invest the money, and you are going to do the work. He says, "Well, beautiful." They opened this big coffee place with a conditori in it, and it was going unbelievable. And really, whatever he did, whatever he cooked, whatever he baked, everything was the best. Whoa, his cake got a name all over. So then he opened another shop and another shop. And eventually he had quite a few shops. And he was also earning a lot of money. And he was saving in the bank. And a few years later, he had $1 million in the bank already saved. So he wrote a letter to his father. My dear father, you know, I don't need you anymore. Baruch Hashem, I did it myself. I've got $1 million in the bank. I'm very successful. He gets a letter back after a few days, and his father writes to him, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think? Who sent the guy after a week you were sleeping in the park to offer you a room? I sent him, and I paid for the room. And then, when you wanted to conditor and ask for a job, I knew that you were going to do this, so I talked with him before. And I told him, you give him the job, and I'm going to pay the salary for him. And that's what it was. Then you decided to open by your own. And I knew it's not going to work because you didn't have enough money. And the place you opened, you couldn't make money there. So I waited a little and I saw really it doesn't work. So I sent another friend of mine to invest in you. Who do you think really invested in you? I gave the money. You're talking about $1 million in the bank? Do you know how much money I spend on you in order for you to be successful in your business? That's exactly what's happening with us. We think we did it. We do nothing. Everything we get from God. And even when God throws us out of the house, even if we do naughty things, not the best things in the world, still God is our Father. And He looks for us and He tries to help us. And sometimes it comes from unbelievable places. And you really don't know where did it come from. But it comes. And that's exactly the point. To understand and realize that everything is from God. And be thankful to God that He gave you all those things. This is Mitzvat Bikurim. You bring the first fruit to God. It's like you buy your child, your little child, or your grandson, or grandchildren, you buy them sweets that they love. And they open the package, and instead of eating, they says, Father, Mother, Grandfather, Grandmother, here, the first one I want you to eat. This is love. This is something, wow. The first thing to give to your father. The first thing your child gives to you. What a good feeling is. And you know that he wants it. And when we're talking about growing trees to have fruits, do you know how many years it takes? And this guy is putting the seed in the earth and growing it and watering it and cuts the trees, and it takes years of investment till he's got the fruits. And now he's got the fruits. So the first thought is, I did it. He says, no. God gave it to you. You didn't do anything. Everything is from God. So what you have to do now? The first fruit, you want to eat it. You worked on it very hard. You waited so long. The first fruit you give to God. Unbelievable. The first fruit to give to God. Yes. What does it mean today? The same. Everything that we do, we have to know it's from God. Every success, everything is from God. And the first thing we have to do is to thank God. The first thing says, God, thank you. First of all, give to God. And give it to God is giving charity, is using the money of God for the good purposes. And this is something that has to lead us in life. Mitzvat Bikurim. It's unbelievable, this mitzvah. And with this mitzvah, we show God that we love Him, that we appreciate everything He gave to us. The interesting thing with Mitzvat Bikurim is that you say all parashat Rami Oved Avi, and you tell the whole story of how it happens with Lavan, and then in Egypt that we were worshipping idols. And why do we need all this story? This guy is happy, he gives God thanks, he gives him the first fruit. Do it and go home. Why does he have to tell this whole story to the Kohen there about what we had in the past? We were idol worshiper. We had problems with Lavan, had problems with the Egyptian. What's the idea behind it? The idea behind it is very important. The point is that sometimes in life, when you are at the top, when you achieve what you wanted, you think you can now enjoy life and stop doing things. The Rav Adam Sinai says, it's like, imagine to yourself, a child comes home to his father, to his parents, in the first grade, Ki Tavo, and he tells his parents, and he gives his parents that he, like all his marks are 10, 10, 10, great, you great, very good, very good, very good. And with this Teudah, he comes to his father, and mother says, look what good grades I got. This is the half-year term, and he gets this certificate, we call it Teudat Tzionim, or whatever you call it, that shows all the subject he learned in school and how good he was. And this, he's got this beautiful Teudah, everything is the best. Says, okay, I did it. I don't need to go anymore to school. Ki Tavo. Now his parents are of course happy that he's so successful, but they don't realize, if they don't show him that he didn't finish the job, that there's still a lot to learn, he will stop learning. Why? Because he thinks in his situation he got, that's it, I don't need anymore. But that's not true. We all know it's Ki Tavo. There's so much to know, so much to learn, so much to do. So his parents start to asking questions about things that he doesn't understand, and explaining to him, our dear child, yes, you are very good, but that's only one stage. You have to go on. You are still a lot missing. This is exactly what's happening. And guy is in let's say in a good mood. He thinks he achieved his task in life, and he says, okay, now I can rest. So God tells him, I want you to remember where you came from. I want to remember, understand that the fight doesn't end, that you have to go on fighting, you have to go on to elevate yourself. That's the whole idea about Chodesh Elul, Rosh Hashanah. The whole idea is to renew yourself and upgrade yourself and go to the next level. In business also, you know, I remember years ago, Toys R Us, they were almost losing the business to a small, unknown business, that what he did is, he had only a warehouse, and he was selling from the warehouse on the internet. In the beginning, when it all started. And Toys R Us, they didn't touch the internet. They were sure that all the millions of shops, whatever they had all over the world, they're going to bring them the success. They don't need anything else. But this small business was going bigger and bigger every minute, because they didn't have a lot of expenses, only a warehouse, no shops, and the prices were good, and they were shipping it all over the world. And suddenly, Toys R Us realized that if they don't do something now, they're going to lose the business. And thank God, they did something, and they understood that it's not enough the shops, and today you can buy also Toys R Us on the internet, because they realized that if they're not there, they're going to lose the whole business. Also in my field, like for example office chairs, there's this very, very famous firm, Interstuhl. It's a German firm. They were for many, many years the top of the top, like the Rolls Royce of the chairs. If you wanted a good chair, the best chairs, it was Interstuhl. But for quite a few years, they didn't do anything new. Like they were selling again and again the same models. From the other side, all the other companies, especially the new ones, they were developing things and doing great, unbelievable chairs. And Interstuhl, they thought they don't need to do anything. They can sit down and go and walk, and nothing is going to hurt them. But then they realized that if they're going to go on sitting, the competition is going to finish them, because they didn't have anything new, and people just went to the competition. They like all the new developments, but they had a lot of money. And I will never forget it. A year later, when we came to the exhibition, we couldn't believe what we saw in this firm. Like it all changed. They had, I think, different ranges of chairs, each one better than the other. Beautiful, with the high technology, the best stuff. They had the money, so they understood, took engineers and invested, and if they wouldn't have done this, they would lose the business. Personally, I think that they never got back to the situation, to the place where they were. And this is a lesson for us for life. You can never stop. You will understand that you have to go on and on, especially in the spiritual way, because otherwise you lose everything. And you have to be happy with what you've got and go on. And this is the idea when you bring the Bikurim, when you bring the first thing to God. Wow, I'm successful here, but the first thing I give to you, God. And I admit that it's all from you, from God. But I also understand and realize, Arami Oved Avi. Yes, I understand that the Milchama, the war against Yetzer Hara, is not finished. The war is going on, and I have to fight, and I have to elevate myself and go to the next level. Not be satisfied with what you've got now, because that's not why you're here. Like it says, Lo dai latzadikim scharam ba'olam haba rotzim lishet b'shalva ba'olam hazeh. It's not enough for the tzadikim. The reward is waiting for them for the next world. They want to sit here and do nothing. Here is olam ha'maaseh. That's the world of doing, making. Olam ha'maaseh. This is not a spiritual world. This is the physical world, and here you need to combine the spiritual power with the physical power. But of course, what has to be on control is the spiritual, the neshama. And this is another thing that we have to be very careful. Looking around and seeing what's happening, it's unbelievable. But this week I saw something very nice. Really, I have to tell you. We're talking about everybody's going Adarat Nashim, the way that let's say the ultra-Orthodox behave to the women. They are like let's say humiliate them and etc. And this lady, I don't remember her name, she said, "You don't tell us what is humiliating women. This is our way of life, and we are princesses, Bat Melech. We are the children of the king. We are the daughters of a king, but not Melachim. A Jewish woman is a Bat Melech." And what does it mean, Bat Melech? And then she showed this picture, unbelievable, really. The Goyim have to teach us what manners. Talking about being modest, not being provocative, not wearing nice clothes that are with snoot, with not showing off all what you've got. And you know, like those girls, they go up on buses half naked. And she says, look at the Queen of England. Yeah, Queen of England, Elizabeth, that died recently. You will never find her with showing a piece of meat, a piece of flesh, sorry to say. Like everything is closed. Look, you will look, it's unbelievable. Everything is closed to the end. And when you look at the pictures of the whole monarchy, how they dress, and the code of dress that they participate. And also when you come to visit, you want to visit the king or the queen, you cannot come half naked. So, who is in the right side or who is in the wrong side? Those who go half naked in the streets? This is honor. This is, sorry, they call it, this is the kavod of a woman. This is something to be proud of, that you walk around half naked. We are not simple people. We are the children of God, of the King of all kings. We are princes and princesses. We are princess and prince. Each one of us is a prince or a princess. And as the children of God, we have to behave accordingly. Going in the way of the Torah. We eat not what everybody eats. What do you think? That the king eats simple food, junk food? No, he's got a special cook who cooks for him the best stuff in the world. And so it goes on and on and on. The whole behavior, the manners, the way you dress, modesty. So, is this the right way or is this the right way? You think, you tell me. What is honorable? Go half naked or go like the Queen of England or like the kings and all the monarchy. What is honorable? Yes, that's exactly the point. So when we thank God about everything He gave us with the Bikurim, and realize that everything He gave to us and He's giving to us, thanking God with every first thing we wake up in the morning, Modani, I thank you, God, that you gave my neshama back. Every first thing we go, first of all, we thank God. Then we go on. But with this, we have also to look after our behavior. We are not simple people. We are the children of a king, the mighty king of all kings, the Kodesh Baruch Hu. And as the children of God, we have to behave accordingly. We cannot go half naked in the streets. We cannot eat junk food. We have to eat kosher food. We have to eat not what everybody eats. And so it goes on. And you know, parasha is a lot of things. There's a whole series of curses, but they're also blessings. They're not even written, because it's enough that you don't do the wrong and you're already on the right side, especially in our Chodesh Elul. So I wish us all that we will understand and realize that everything is from God, and everything we get from God we can use in the best way. And first of all, admit that it is from God and not we didn't do it, God did it, and God gave us everything, and thank God for it. And the first thing, we have to thank God, and then behave accordingly, because you are Am Sgula, is written in the parasha. We are the people of God, we are the children of God, and we have to behave accordingly. All the best.